So despite the whole crypto market being down, Ethereum is still seeing a slight green candle today. Since Ethereum broke down of this wedge pattern, we have been seeing a very strong impulse to the downside. However, the recovery have been pretty nice, and we are right now hovering just above this key support level at around 1450. So in this video, guys, we are once again back with Ethereum ETH. We will, as always, be looking at multiple time frames and try to identify some very important levels, both on the upside but also on the downside. So yeah, guys, without further ado, let's just get started right away here. And just real quick before we jump into the analysis, I just want to mention that if you guys are interested in similar content, I do technical analysis on, for example, Ethereum, but I also do Cardano, VeChain, Polkadot, Elrond, and more. Then don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And also, guys, if you hit that blue like button, that would be so kind. That helps out the community a lot, and it also helps the YouTube algorithm to push more Ethereum videos out there. So guys, don't forget to hit that like. Also, it's very awesome to see lots of you guys follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/mindmathmoney. So if you want to chat with me, you know, we have nice discussions and so on and so forth, make sure to go over to Twitter and I will see you guys over there. Last but not least, I have to give a disclaimer that this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Nothing in this video is financial advice. But alright, now let's jump into the chart and take a look at what has happened recently here for Ethereum. So the sort of main trend Ethereum have been trading in recently was that we were in a sort of upsloping wedge. You can see the range here is getting smaller and smaller. However, we did get a clear and strong breakout here at around February 23rd, and since that break we saw a price drop of almost 30%. However, we did manage to see buyers stepping up at this around 1300 level, and that is actually a Fibonacci retracement, a common Fibonacci retracement level that we will take a closer look at later in this video. So we did find buyers right there, and at the same time we printed a hammer candlestick pattern, and that is a bullish pattern if it appears after a strong decline. So since that, we have been seeing a pretty nice force here to the upside, and we are right now sort of hovering at this zone in between around 1475 and 1435, and that is a level that we will take a closer look at later in this video when we focus on some key levels on the upside and the downside. But if we just take a look at the most recent candlesticks right here, we can see that here 2 days ago on March 4th, we printed a spinning top candle representing market indecision. Yesterday, however, we did see a small force here to the downside, but we can see that buyers once again stepped up at this zone, and we did see a small force to the upside. Today we are once again seeing some indecision. You can see we have a pretty long upper shadow on today's candle, but one thing I do want to point out and that we should notice here is that pretty much the whole crypto market is down. However, ETH is up 0.86%, while, you know, for example, Cardano down 5%, Bitcoin down 3%. So in relation to the other cryptocurrencies, ETH is actually seeing a pretty strong day so far. But alright, guys, I think we're ready to jump into some key support and resistance levels. But before doing that, I just want to give a very important warning, and that is, guys, please be aware of bot accounts and scammers in the comments. They are all over YouTube, and I know that I talk about this in every video, but I feel like I really have to give warnings in every video because the spam doesn't stop. So guys, never trust anyone in the comment section. I can also just mention real quick that if you are looking for a site where you can buy Ethereum very fast and easy, I have a link for that both in the pinned comment and in the description, a link to Coinbase, and if you use that link, you at the same time help out the channel. So that's just a quick shout out right there. But alright, guys, now let's jump back into the chart and take a look at some key levels on the upside and downside. And let's start by taking a look at the bearish scenario and downside levels. And the first sort of zone, I have been talking about this one a lot, but the first zone I'm paying attention to is in between 1475 to around 1435. And why do I think that one is important? Well, you can see yesterday we did see buyers stepping up right there, and we have multiple times. You can see we have been having a lot of price action at this area. And if we look a bit left, you can see that all the way back here on the around February 7th, we did see buyers stepping up once again. And if we look even more left, we can see that this level that is right now acting as sort of a support zone, this one was previous resistance. You can see 1 time, 2 times, 3 times here in January. So this was a previous resistance that we flipped that then later on became support. So this zone is definitely one I still think is significant, even though in my opinion I think it lost some significance when we intraday broke this one to the downside. But this leads us to the next sort of level I'm paying attention to, and that level is this sort of zone here in between 1,300 and 1,335, around there. And why do I think this one is important? Well, if we use our Fibonacci tool, we anchor from the very swing low to the swing high, the very high of the wedge. You can see that our 0.618 level is exactly at this 1,335 US dollars. And the reason that I'm looking at this one as a zone is because we actually went a tiny bit below. You can see we did drop down all the way to around 1,295, and that was where the sort of last buyer got his or her Ethereum, and that was when we saw this bounce to the upside. If we break both of these zones to the downside, then it's starting to look really bearish. Then it's starting to look really bearish in my opinion. Then we have a very key level. This one is key historically as well. That level is around between 1,050 to 982. You can see, if we look back here to around January, you can see that January 22nd, we did see support. Once again here, support, so support multiple times. And also, if we look a lot left here, if we scroll all the way back here to around February, the middle of February 2018, you can see that this level did act as a previous historic resistance. So previous resistance flipped, became support. That is a very common principle in trading. But alright guys, now let's switch our attention to the upside. What levels am I paying attention to personally here for Ethereum on the upside? And the first sort of level I'm looking out for is actually this continuation of the upsloping purple line right here. And why do I think that one has importance? Well, if you look back here to January 10th this year, you can see that we did see, this level as resistance. 1 time there, 2 times, 3 times. Then we broke this one to the upside and we flipped previous resistance as support. You can see at least 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then we broke this one to the downside, was when we saw this, really strong force and, lots of sellers stepping up. So that is definitely one I'm looking out for. The first sort of horizontal level I'm looking at is all the way up at around 1,850. That level comes from, you probably remember this one from previous videos, because this one was the 100% measure move of the wedge pattern we had right there, and we have been talking about that level a lot. So I still pay attention to this 1,850 level, and if the bulls can smash both of these to the upside, then the next sort of level I'm looking out for is the all-time high at around $2,000. To be more precise, $2,035 here on Coinbase at least. And well, if we even can break the all-time high, then we can start looking out for our fib extensions of the last swing. So from the very high to the low, that would take Ethereum all the way up to around 2,500. So a very nice and clean number right there. But alright guys, now I think we're ready to zoom in a bit here and take a look at the 4-hour time frame. So here on the 4-hour, I do want to point out one thing real quick, and this is the hidden bullish divergence we are starting to develop right here. So if we look from that low to that low, you can see that the price, the Ethereum price, is making a higher low. While if you look down to the MACD, you can see that the MACD is making a lower low. So higher lows on the price, lower lows on the MACD. We have some hidden bullish divergence, implying continuation to the upside. So that is one bullish variable we have here for Ethereum. Might be one reason that, Ethereum is outperforming the market right now. Unfortunately, we don't have any hidden bullish divergence on the RSI. We only have it on the MACD. So I wouldn't pay too much, attention to this one. Another thing I also want to mention that we talked about in the previous video was the sort of downsloping line right here. We pretty much looked at this structure as a sort of head and shoulders with shoulder head. So I'm still looking out for this level, and a first bullish step would be to get a 4-hour candle close above this downsloping line, which we in technical analysis call the neckline. But alright guys, I think I will wrap this video up right here. If you found any kind of help or value, then please consider dropping a like, and if you guys are interested in more similar content, then don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope I will catch you in the next video. But for now guys, take care, ciao ciao.